The third inability of narcissism is happiness. Hi, I'm Dan Cassenti. I'm a cognitive psychologist and a novelist. I'm putting together this series of YouTube videos to try to help people understand concepts of narcissism so that they can avoid or get out of narcissistic relationships. Alright, so I told you in the intro to this series that the inabilities are something that we should maybe pity narcissists for. They don't have these strengths that the rest of us, can just have naturally. And that's a very sad thing. And the saddest of all is this one, happiness. Narcissists it's very hard for them to do it. And when I say inabilities, I don't mean that they are never ever happy ever in their entire lives. Maybe they can, but it's just so infrequent relative to the rest of us. And that's a really sad thing. They never really had good times growing up. Things were hard on them for one reason or another. There are narcissists who are created from neglect, where their parents aren't necessarily abusing them, not physically abusive or verbally abusive, but they just kind of ignore their kids. Their stuff is way more important. If you're not being prioritized like that, it may be a path you might go down to become a narcissist later on in life. But their happiness was never a focus, whether it was from abuse or neglect, whatever caused the narcissism from their childhood. Their happiness wasn't a focus. They weren't a focus. Their self wasn't a focus. And so it's hard for them to know how to be happy. Happiness doesn't just, come to us for no reason. It's an emotional state that's derived from contentment. There's things that might be a problem in your life isn't really that much of a focus at that point. You feel like you've accomplished something that could make you happy. You hear a good joke that can make you happy. Spending time with people you love that can make you happy. Any of those things, but it's in the pursuit of our, what makes us enjoy life, that makes us happy. And if you don't know yourself that well, and make no mistake about this, narcissism is a problem with the self. They have a very shaky concept of who they are. If your self is something you don't understand, then how can you pursue objectives that will end up making you happy in the first place? Another thing that prevents them from being happy is that they're always in competition with everybody, not just some people, not even just people in their lives. If they pass by somebody who is acting happy, who's laughing, they'll feel jealous of that. That could be a complete stranger, no idea who this person is, and other people's happiness can make them sad or angry or disgusted or afraid because they don't have that care for others in the first place. They don't care about anybody but themselves, so that happiness that somebody else is exhibiting gives them negatively valenced emotions. And imagine being in competition with everybody all the time. It's impossible to win if you're competing with everybody all the time, because you can't be superior to everybody else. There's no way that's not even a thing. How can you even say that you're superior to everybody else? Now, narcissists believe in that, but the rest of us who don't have a focus on that, it's very hard to tell. How can I say that I'm better than somebody else? How can you say that you're better than somebody else? Unless that person is going out of their way to violate other people's rights, it's a draw. But that's not the way the narcissist sees it. So every little thing can set them off. And so imagine being happy under those circumstances. Everything has to be absolutely perfect for you to do that. And there's something inherently wrong with all narcissists, so it can't all be perfect because they're not perfect, because they have so many fundamental flaws, which we're talking about in this series on inabilities. So, again, I want to emphasize this from the intro video. Don't feel too much pity for the narcissist. Yes, it's tragic that somebody can't experience happiness, or at least not very often. But if you let that pity go too far, you might allow that narcissistic relationship to continue. You might try to fix them and thus face a fruitless quest. It's not going to happen. You're not going to help them be happy. You can't change a narcissist. So please don't let any pity that you might get from these videos allow you to let them into your life or try to change them in any way. It's just going to bring you disappointment and frustration. Okay, well, I think that's all I want to say here. If you like this video, please hit like or subscribe if you haven't done so. Anytime anyone does that, it allows the YouTube algorithms to say, hey, these videos are working. Let's put them out to more people, and more people can be helped. Okay, thanks, and I hope this helped.